My name is Davin Woody. I'm born and raised here in Gainesville, Florida. Graduated from high school here too, and went off to Florida A&M University and graduated. And I became a probation officer, a senior probation officer here in Fort Lauderdale in Gainesville, Florida. And after a while, after doing that for like 22 years, I had a friend who was also into real estate. And I just thought about, hey, let's change careers. Let's see what happens. So I took a year off. I wanted to find myself, discover what I really wanted to do, and did some research on real estate. Not basically the marketing games, but just real estate. And decided I wanted to do that. And so um, I took the class and I Santa Fe. Did well, but didn't pass the test. Didn't pass the test. And then I went to Ocala for a week-long session, and I passed it. And so I just started interviewing real estate companies, say which was going to fit me, fit my needs. And so I ended up interviewing with Bossart, was the most impressive one. The opportunity was there to start my career and say, hey, I want to do this. The biggest part of that was just starting to a point where I was going to be on the bottom, but I had been on the top for so long in my own career. And now I got to learn how to sell myself and sell a product that I didn't know. And so I just started studying real estate to the fullest, all types of houses, all types of land, and get an understanding. So when I had the opportunity to sell some and market some, um, it was going to be, I knew the product and I knew everything about the place or the home or the land. And I was going to be, my struggle was not to be the top agent when I started. When I started real estate, it was back in 2006, January, and the market was going to the left. So the bell shape was going this way, and everybody was leaving real estate because we were finna go to the crash. And so by the time 2008 came, the crash came. And so for me, growing up, some form of being in the city and with my grandparents, we lived in a country, so we were field people. And you got to understand the thing about plying the field and harvesting. So I just stayed in. I'm here for the long haul, and for almost a year and a half, I just kept introducing myself as Davin Flip Woody. I wanted to be a real estate, but the market wasn't ready. But that wasn't going to stop me. The market might not have been ready, but I was ready. So I just constantly kept going. So when the market came, my harvest started showing up. And once it started showing up, I was more comfortable selling product because it hadn't been sold. And so once I finished that, I got a bigger spear than what I had from my friends. There were some failures in that deal because people that you knew, you thought would be personal to you and have some kind of commitment to you, and they didn't. So I put my mind to saying I have a 5-star or a 6-star point of disappointment. And once I did, from family to my fraternity to my church and the organizations I was in, once those 6 things disappointed me, I knew then I was gonna be better. Because you get a disappointment when you think you can do something and it doesn't happen. And you also get the point of being survival. Because if you don't sell, there's no need to continue.
Right. And so thinking back when you first got started, how has the industry changed over the years?
Well, I got to experience the market high, which is different. Everybody wanted to buy, and I got to a point where it was a seller's market, and people want to get the best market value for for their homes. And once I got all that understood, um, I knew how to balance my marketing. I knew what highs to go to and what lows to go to, and how I need to send out my marketing. Or I'm the kind of person still, I shake hands, and I did that because at 2000 I ran for city commissioner. So I'm good in door knocking and talking to people. And if it starts buying today, it's are we buying tomorrow? And I don't sell houses, I build relationships. So it may not come today. And by the time I finished, I got a hunger and I wanted to play an arena that African Americans went in, and that was in commercial real estate. There was none. There was none. And at the time, it took me a good 4.5 years to get in it, and took a lot of classes and a lot of dollars of taking classes to get understanding that market. And so once I became a commercial realtor, I realized that I had to get product that all the realtors wanted, and not just in my neighborhood, and not just on my part of comfort zone in the community or into the city. And once I got that part done and start going to commercial meetings and national commercial meetings and retail meetings, um, I wanted to be the best I could be in that commercial market. And so Davin Woody wasn't born there, but it was advertised enough to say, that's what I do. I sell real estate.
Good. So as a Black professional in real estate, what challenges have you faced and how did you overcome them?
Um, well, the biggest one is when we did a residential development, and there was a lot of challenges because at that same time, it was a mixture of races going in there, and I didn't want to be in a Black community, and I don't want to be all white, um, and we made sure that we advertised in all communities to get a rainbow of people to come into that neighborhood, and that was a big challenge for me because now you got to hear everybody's problems and issues and economic growth on East Gainesville from West Gainesville. And, my thing is sometime being on East, I rather leave that place, leave that area and go and get what I need and come back. And I ain't got to deal with all the confusion that West have. It has its pros and its cons. And that was a challenge, and we got over that. The biggest problem I had with commercial real estate was there was no African Americans doing it, and a lot of time, white America wasn't willing to accept what I'm offering, regardless if I had the name Boss Art. It wasn't willing to accept that. Yeah, I do it, but if you can bring somebody else with you, or you can lower your price because you don't have enough experience. And once I prove them that I do, give me an opportunity. I'm not gonna cut my rates because I don't believe in that. Um, if you want Walmart service, I'm not your person. But if you want high quality service and give you the best, I can do that. And once I, landed a good deal and sold $3 million worth of property and land, and built out, sold the property on Northwest Fifth Avenue, my name just took off. Here it is. I found a piece of property that's worth $4.4 million, and I changed it $8.5 million, and I get a buyer in 30 days. I had two of them, and they know what my product was, and I knew how to advertise and market it. And from that was that was a big challenge, but it got me over the hill that I could do this commercial real estate.
Good. Good for you for standing your ground
Thank you.
for the people that didn't want to value you. So, on the flip side, though, can you share a proud moment or achievement in your career?
Oh, what now?
A proud moment
Yeah.
or achievement in your career?
I think my proudest moment in this is been the support of Aaron Bosshart. I think I'm a game changer, and so I didn't have all those smooth curves. I do it the way I want to do it, and a lot of times he allowed that, but then said, "Let me mold it the way I needed to get it to be molded." And the support, and I literally can call Aaron at 2 o'clock in the morning on anything, and he will answer the phone, and a couple other people that do not work anymore. So my biggest proud moment is the support I've had from Aaron, even though I don't do it the normal way. I do it my way. And so that's my biggest proud moment. I mean, I'm now 19 years at Boss Hart, and I probably had 10 companies that call me and say, "Hey, Davin, um, come join us." And it's because of my relationship with Aaron, probably with Aaron more than Boss Hart, because Boss Hart was a big name in commercial, and I needed that name. I needed that B. But now I don't need that B. So I'm here because I want to be here. I love Bossart. I love the people that works here, the support staff, and um, people come and go. But I just chose to stay. This is technically my second career, and I ended here. So I won't be going anywhere. And as long as the growth is here, the education is here, and the opportunities here, and I feel like it's being fair, the fair share is here. Um, um, I remember saying this short story when I came here. I was like, you're doing this for Christmas. What about Kwanzaa? He said, what is Kwanzaa? I said, it's an African American Christmas holiday. And then 2 days later, Kwanzaa sits him on top of that because he was willing to go the extra. And sometimes you have to do that. So I appreciate him. Like I say, that's my biggest real estate piece that I had that person, even though he's the owner, that he stood behind what I believe in. And when I got in wrong, he was willing to tell me I'm wrong. And I was able to sit down and take it.
Nice. Well, good. Seems like you have a good relationship. Um, so over the years, have you seen progress when it comes to diversity and inclusion in real estate?
So I um I was I knew the first African American who had a real estate license in Gainesville, Tom Coward, the late Tom Coward. And he was kind of a mentor to talking to me about things, and I could go talk to him. And I've seen enough people come and stay. Um, I've met a couple real estate millionaires in Gainesville. Two African Americans, which is phenomenal. And for myself, I only associate with people that are going my way or higher than me. I don't want somebody who's stagnated with me because I'm trying to go this way. And so I've seen the market. I'm not sure if the market chased them out or stability chased them out or just financially chased them out. But it is staying. And sometimes you see the end of a journey and say, I want to do that. I want to make $100,000 and not knowing how you get that 100,000, and it ain't easy. Commission splits and negotiating your market. I don't let anybody tell me what my value is. I know my value. You could in 2006, but in 2025, nobody tells me my value, including Bossart. They don't tell me my value. I know what I'm good at, and so a lot of people left, and no matter what real estate company they came with, they left because they didn't know their value. And it's hard to build your value amongst your peer. So that's what it is.
Okay. So why don't we talk about what more could the industry do to support and uplift Black professionals?
Well, I think nationally, um, by putting them in magazines and on these little commercials is not uplifting. It's not. It's because the, you're not speaking on, you're not publicizing their communities. You're publicizing another community, but you got great Black actors or Black realtors doing that. That's not the answer. The answer is, to me, the answer is getting with NARAD, which is a Black organization for Black realtors, and educating them that you're a part of that, not just a sponsor of NARAD. It is for National African American Realtors, and it was just introduced to me 2 years ago. And it's sad that the entire real estate companies don't know it exists. It's almost like um, it's almost like the Negro League to real estate, and we do a lot of stuff. They do a lot of stuff. I joined it. They do a lot of stuff, and they educate all kind of people about what realtors are and what realtors mean, and to be able to put us in the same equal to everyone else. It's like when you come to training to get into be a realtor, they don't teach you how to sell $1 million house. They say you go to your sphere. but your spear may not be getting you $1 million. And that's the part that I think, and I challenged boss artists about one time before, is for us to get to be equal, we don't have that spear. If it's not sports, we're not gonna have that spear. Our economic stature is totally different. And so when you see these realtors on these commercials, these national commercials, they're not talking about economic growth. That's a beautiful neighborhood. How many African Americans are in that neighborhood? You have to get the playing field, and to be able to say we train them how to sell houses in Hale Plantation. Because if I don't live there, I'm not gonna know that. And so we won't get it so black and white. If I left here today, I wouldn't know how to sell a house in California. I wouldn't. You know, that doesn't mean I don't know how to sell in East LA either now. But there's education growth in that we don't do here. We don't do, and so a lot of times when you look at listings, you can see that when you see a listing that's $2 million or it's listed as $1 million and you see African American on that, the first thing you go is wow. The second thing you go is says, what? How did they get that? And is it in their sphere? It's total, and I know because I'm trying to be a ranch horseman realtor in Ocala, and I'm telling you that door is not open. It is absolutely. I mean, I've called and said, "Hey, can you teach me?" And realtors will shut the door. Do you own a horse? Do you own a ranch? And I'll say no, but I'm gonna get there. And so it's not open, and it's not open because there's no training for that. It's just what you got. Go out there and sell it. So if you're not used to that community, you can go and learn it 1,000 times. But how am I going to get to sell a house? How am I, if I don't know no athletics, how do I get to sell Steve Spurrier a house? What's my connections? I can go and coach, maybe get somebody who knows somebody to coach and sell one of those black coaches a house because I've did that 3 times, or sell one of their houses. But it's because somebody in my sphere knew that person. But just to be able to get in there and go into a neighborhood that the house started 700,000, and I want to do that. I want to sell those houses. How do I get there? And I don't, because I can send flyers and all that. Who is that guy? He's a realtor at Boss Art. Oh, I know Jenny Joe. She said Boss Art, and Jenny Joe will get that phone call. So it's not even, and you have to hustle more.
What impact have you seen on Black homeownership?
Um, I say this to be even Steven with growth and wealth. Um, when I sell a house to someone, I say, hey, you're in it for 5 years. We're either going to downsize or we're going to get bigger because you're young and you're going to get a family. That's creating wealth. We, as African Americans, we was raised around our parents either didn't own a home, or if they did, mortgage burning was the best thing in America. But now the new generation, they want to burn a mortgage. They want to buy, sell, and buy. And if it wasn't for real estate, I'm on my 4th house now. But it was because in these years, I did that. And that's what you got to go back and look at. To get it better, we have to educate young people, African Americans, that this house is not forever. You don't live here 25 years. You live here 5, and that's when you start thinking that by the 8th year, we're going to be gone. New schools, new travel, new area coming out. Let's go there, because you can always go backwards. It's going forward is the problem. So I don't see, if realtors educate like I do, especially African Americans, because my market is 50-50 now, and that's a plus for me. When I started, it was 10% white America, and now it's 50-50. But that takes work, And when you want to go and say first time home buyers, who are they? Especially because the young Americans gonna come, African Americans gonna come to you, and then that's when I give my spiel. We only come in this house for 5 years. You got to believe in that vision, because your wealth goes up, then you should go up. And if your wealth come down, then and you're gonna be a stable situation, we just come down. And that's how I try to get wealth, educate wealth. It's That's what it is. That's what in the commercial world, that's what it is. McDonald's don't want to be the little McDonald's, they want to be the big McDonald's.
So, beyond real estate transactions, how do you use your platform to empower the Black community?
Well, I'm a basketball coach and a motivational speaker. So to young people, I say at 18, go get your license. You won't regret this at ever. And so a lot of my players are African American, and they look up to Coach Flip, and they want to have a boss high hat on and all that kind of stuff. But my thing is your world's going to change, and so I want you to, whatever state you end up, go get your real estate license. It doesn't matter, and find that's the economic growth right there, because you can do that anywhere. Um, I think the biggest part of that is we got to learn how to know when to buy and how to get the financing, and the biggest thing, um, understand your credit. How does it work? Um, s- don't get to a place where you're willing to pay for what you need but beg for what you want. That doesn't make it anymore. This is a great time in America to get things that your parents never had, and I got things that my parents never had. But I didn't. My parents didn't have a cell phone, you know, and now you got the world in your hand. And so, buy things that you can use to sell. So if you think you want to buy this building, have no need for it, buy it, and then learn what you need to do with it to sell it. It's not keeping things. I want to buy all these apartments. That's in time. Have um, some residual wealth by having income come in, and so that's what I educate people with. You know, I didn't just walk on this situation and do this. It took a lot of reading, a lot of books I didn't want to read, and a lot of trips that I sacrificed. So for me, I sail from the line of Georgia, the line of Alabama, and the tip of Miami. That's where I go. And if somebody in my sphere or somebody talk to me, I go and sell a house and post it there for boss art, because I don't like referrals, and that's not building relationships. So like in Tampa, I sold 3 houses to 2 brothers and sisters and a parent. They could have used any realtor in Hillsborough County, but they chose me, and I made the connection from here. And so to me, that father led me to his daughter and his son. That's that's growth to me.
And tell me if there's any community initiatives or organizations that you're passionate about and involved in.
Um, I'm passionate about um, being more active in NARAB this year. I'm passionate about that. It's a national organization that back in the early 50s, African Americans weren't allowed to be a realtor. And so when they became able to do that, they were only able to um, represent buyers African American. They couldn't sell anything. And so they started the NARAB, and um, they started the NARAB program, and realtors, that was the only way they could sell real estate, through that program. And so now, um, with the help of some civil rights movements, um, we were able to get real estate to be able to get a license. And so by no means African Americans didn't have a place in real estate. We didn't come with no land. Um, and the land, the 40 acres and the mule, that didn't come with us either. It sounds good, but it didn't happen. And so now it's something that we have to learn. And once we learn it, we have to master it. And we have to be better than our counterparts, because we measure on a different scale. The scale is never going to equal. You have to set that. It's never going to be that way. I don't care what kind of money you got. I don't care where you live at. It's still not going to be equal. It's always going to be there. You just got to be able to rise above it. Our whole thing is about just peace and being able to be at the table. And that's where I was with commercial. I just want to be at the table. Once I get to the table, I can hold my own. But I got to get there. And that's what we got to do in real estate. We got to be at the table.